days a week, 365 days a year. A little inconsistent with the start time, but better early than never, I guess. And just trying to put it together. I'm checking my calendar, and I know I started early for a reason. I just got to see what time my other meeting starts, because this show might be the express version of our morning show, which you guys might actually like. Well, it was the Boston Celtics and then the Boston Celtics again in the Celtics Heat game last night. Chris, any quick thoughts on that one?
Just the Celtics taking the stranglehold of that series. For me, Kyle Lowry looked really, really sluggish in that game, and I think now it's just all about the Celtics trying to close this one out at home. First time they won back-to-back games in the series. Now they're really putting the pressure on the Heat going back to Boston.
Brian, anything about last night's game?
Yeah, I got my ass kicked. I had the Heat plus the points. I thought it'd be a close game. I thought the Heat would come through, and I think my plus 1.5 bet's over. I think the Celtics win it in Boston.
I think just when everybody thinks it's going to go one way, that's when it usually goes the other. It certainly hasn't been a dominating series, even though the games themselves have not really been close. There hasn't been a game, I think, where the dog covered the spread. Every game, well, actually, there's the dog.
Miami won outright.
Right, without winning outright. That's what I meant, where the points have factored in for the underdog. They have not been, none of the games have been close. The Heat wins weren't close, and one of the games was fairly close, but the Heat really dominated all the way. They never did not have the lead in that game. So they have been one-sided all the way, and we'll see what happens in this one. I don't think the Heat are going to go down easy, that's for sure. But Major League Baseball, I lost my $15 big play again in the ninth inning on an error. I've lost only 3 plays out of my last 11 on my big plays. All 3 of them have been in the ninth inning, man. That is about as tough as it comes. 2 of them with errors in the ninth inning, like on routine plays, routine plays. So
they had the opposite experience. The Cleveland Guardians scored a run with 2 outs, guys on base to get the run line cover.
Well, you had Phillies too in that Phillies-Dodgers game where they muffed it.
No, Phillies and Braves.
Well, the Phillies-Dodgers on Sunday.
Yeah.
Last Sunday. It happens. It's part of sports betting. There's, hopefully those things even out is what you hope is a best case scenario. Doesn't always work that way. But we do have plenty of action today, and we will get into it in a hurry. Like I said, kind of an express version of today's show. I like
express.
It's going to have to be. But anyways, just not a ton of people watching. Going to guess the notifications haven't gone out, but that's okay. People can watch the replay. That is kind of what this is all about. I'm putting those bookmarks in. Speaking of bookmarks, Chris, what do we got in the NHL tonight? I'm going to need you to kind of take the hammer on these.
That's all right. So, there was a great game 5 last night. The Blues ended up taking it 5-4 in overtime after arguably a goal of the year candidate from Nathan MacKinnon, but St. Louis tied it late and ended up finding the win in OT. Now we go back to St. Louis in that series, but tonight got the Carolina Hurricanes minus 152 favorites at home series where the home team's dominated against the New York Rangers getting plus 137, and the Calgary Flames looking to keep their seasons alive, minus 149 at home against the Edmonton Oilers getting plus 130. Brian, do you think either of these games?
Well, just about last night real quick, that Blues Colorado Avalanche game, you could have seen the sweat on my forehead just bubbling up because I had the plus 1.5 and I was just waiting for an empty netter. Then when they tied it up, I almost flew off my couch. And great job by the Blues. And these games that you just mentioned here today, I'm going to ride with the juice and take the Carolina Hurricanes. It's just been a home team dominated series, and I just think Carolina is the better team. I'm not going to lay that puck line because I could easily see the Rangers and Carolina go into OT. But I think Carolina gets it done. And then Edmonton, Calgary had the over in the last game, but I think this one goes under the 6.5. Calgary, really, they're on their last leg. I think Edmonton steps up the defense a little bit tonight. And I could see 6 goals being scored, but not 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take a page out of Brian's book. I think if you split a bet between both of the underdogs in these 2 games
that's
tonight,
not a good thing, generally.
I know it's not, but I think tonight maybe because I'm doing it, maybe it'll change the fortune of it. But I think that if you split a bet between the Rangers and the Oilers, I think if not both of those underdogs come in, I'm even put a bit on the Oilers -1.5 on the reverse line. I think Edmonton's just made the adjustments. Calgary has not, and a lot of those games have been multi-goal margins. So take Edmonton -1.5, and I'm going to take the Rangers on the money line.
I'm going to go for Calgary in this one. I think they salvage the win. And the Hurricanes. Going for both favorites. Chalk, as they say. Anyways, we move over to our promos. Brian, what are you selling today?
Well, I'm going for 4 straight winning days, trying to get myself back on track. I got my Thursday Throwdown 3-pack. It includes my 2 best bets in Major League Baseball and my best bet in the NBA. All 3 best bets for $40 at pickdogs.com. Premium picks.
Chris?
Yeah, and a pair of 1-run games yesterday separated me from what would have been a 3-0 day, 1-2, but the one that we did hit was our pickoff play. Now 5-1 in those, and hoping to keep that going with today's pickoff play. $15, or I got that pickoff play included as part of my MLB triple play. $39.95. It's going off with the afternoon game to start, so make sure you get on that fairly quickly.
Yeah, we have 3 cappers that are consistently doing the $15 plays, and that's me, Chris, and Ron Romanelli. And I would say that those $15 plays have been hitting at about 85%, among the 3 of us. So I think those are the solid values. I know it's always long-term is always a better value, and I know that. Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say the 2-for-1 capper deal. If you team up Romanelli and Ruffalo, you get the #1 guy the last 7 days, and you get the #1 baseball guy. So you might want to look into that.
That as well is solid play, and I think we're looking at our pricing on some of the longer-term deals for the guys doing the $15 plays. So this way, people can get in on the longer-term deals at reasonable pricing, and which is really what we're all about. It's like delivering the best product, the lowest price. The advantage that we have over all those other crappy sites, and we don't need to mention Docs by name again or any of those other places, is that we do 10 times the traffic that those guys do, 10 times the volume. So we can do things at lower pricing, and I don't think it will diminish. It's not going to diminish the quality of the product. It's just going to make it more available to every bettor out there that wants the product, as opposed to just the people that are betting a dime a game, because we know there's a lot more people out there betting, a lot of people betting in different price ranges, different bet amounts, and it's like we don't want to price them out. We want them to have access to the premium picks as well. So that's the whole idea of the $15 plays, and maybe I reduced the prices on my long-term packages personally about a month ago. So I think mine might be a little too low. I know Brian doesn't like it, so that's usually a good sign.
It's too low, way too low. $90 for 7 days of Mitch. So you guys grab that now before it gets raised up.
Yeah, it's I don't know why I settled on that number, but I just figured why not, But I don't, for some reason I don't really, well, not for some reason, I don't advertise it a ton, so I think not a lot of people jump on it. But anyways, someone's decided to call me. I don't know how to hang up on this.
Usually click the side button twice. The lock button.
There we go. All right. Anyways.
I knew it was good for something.
Well, let's get to today's games. Could you guys hear that ringing in the thing? My phone? No? Oh, you guys couldn't hear it. All right. So it doesn't matter.
I heard one vibration after you mentioned it.
Yeah. Anyways, we got the Reds taking on the Cubs. We've got the Rays and the Yankees, and the Nationals and the Rockies. Brian, what do you think?
I'm starting to warm up here to Hunter Green's had a couple solid starts here, and you're getting plus money with the Cincinnati Reds team that's bounced back after the bad start that they've had. And then Tampa Bay Rays, recently they've lost lost to the Yankees. I think their Yankees are 5-2, last 7 in Tampa, but overall the Rays have done well against the Yankees over the last couple of years. So I'm gonna stick with the Rays. You're getting plus money with I think the better team at home. Might not have the better pitcher, but Cortez isn't gonna keep pitching at this high rate. So I like Tampa Bay on the money line.
Chris, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm still leaning towards the Yankees with Cortez. I don't know. It seems like a decent price. He's been pitching very well. Maybe Brian's right that the regression could be coming, but until I sort of see it, I'm still going to stick with him. And I'm going to go with the Yurfie in that Washington Nationals Colorado Rockies matchup. And I see Herman Marquez and Patrick Corbin. I didn't even have to blink on it. It's only minus 120, so I think it's a great price for. I think could be multiple runs in the first inning.
Yeah, I think for me it's it's tough for me to go on Justin Steele, but it's tough for me to go on Hunter Green. It's just it's once again, yesterday I really hated the card. I made it crystal clear that I did not like the card yesterday, and for good reason. All the games that I didn't give out, all were the winners. So I don't know. I'm with Chris. I like that over in the Nationals Rockies game. I think of these three, that's the one. You got Corbin and Marquez. This thing could be over in the first inning. These are those type of guys. But we head to Cleveland, or to Detroit, where Tarek Skubal is up against Savali as the Tigers take on the Guardians. We got the Braves and the Phillies, and the Twins and the Royals. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, it might be a trap. It kind of hurts me, but I'm going to take the Atlanta Braves here. I think you're getting the better team and the better pitcher with Kyle Wright, who's been very good this season. Aaron Nola's hit or miss, and mostly missed. The Phillies' bats have a tendency to fall asleep. The Phillies have a tendency to lose multiple games in a row. So I think you got to take the Braves here. And the Detroit Tigers, just a small lean, because I really like Tarek Skubal, one of the best pitchers in the American League this season. And I wouldn't normally lay juice with the Tigers, but I think they get it done against the Guardians.
Chris?
I don't know if I can get there with Skubal as and the words best pitcher in the same sentence, but he is pitching pretty well, and I think I do give him a lean in the in that matchup with the Tigers. But I'm with Brian. I like the Braves here. As much as as I like Aaron Nola, he can pitch well in spots. Doesn't change the fact the Phillies have lost his last 8 starts as a team, and he has a career 2-6 record at Truist Park. So I'll take the Atlanta Braves on the money line. That one I really like Kyle Wright. So.
I think when you look at a pitcher like Nola, and I'm a Nola basher, and we all know that, right? But the thing is that I also believe that for Nola is I also believe that Nola also goes up against the other team's usually number 1 or 2 pitcher, so that's why he's generally gets tough luck. And you play on one of the 3 worst teams in baseball, you're not going to get a lot of breaks, and I think that's part of the issue here for Nolan. I think you trade him to the Yankees or the Dodgers, who are going to be shoppers at the trade deadline because they'll be competitive, and by then the Phillies will be out of it. So they might be sellers at the trade deadline, and Aaron Nola might be a guy that they can get something back for in return, and maybe some young pitchers to try and revitalize this pitching staff. So maybe in 6 or 7 years they can make a run at maybe a division title or something like that. But they're a few managers away and a lot of players away from making something like that happen. I just think when you look at teams like the Nationals, the Royals, and the Phillies, it's bleak, right? It just looks bleak. I think of those, the Royals probably have the most hope. Of those 3, I think when you have Witt Jr., at least you have a piece to build around. While the Phillies, it's just a lot of overpriced guys that don't deliver, racking up individual statistics, forsaking the team effort there. And I think that's cancer. To when it comes to a common goal of maybe winning something meaningful. And we've seen it time and time again in Philadelphia with this underachieving, underperforming, overpaid Phillies team. But outside of that, great bunch of guys. We move on to our next segment. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I think you're crazy.
Okay. This is what I got to say about crazy. 20-24 with that lineup.
The Phillies aren't
with that
good,
lineup.
They're not one of the 3 worst teams in baseball. That's I can name 10 teams worse than the Phillies probably off the top of my head.
Well, I just named 2 that are in the same conversation with them, and it's the
And
Nationals, the Royals, and the
get,
Phillies.
They're about to call up a Moniak from the minors who was rehabbing from a broken wrist, and he really looked good in preseason. I think that'll help their lineup, but they're starting pitching and bullpen need help.
Who has a better record, Colorado Rockies or Philadelphia Phillies?
I think the Phillies.
Who has a better record, Arizona Diamondbacks or Philadelphia Phillies?
I think the Phillies are better than the Diamondbacks. Well, I don't know.
No, they're
Diamondbacks
not.
have 2
The numbers are the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. I don't make them up. It's not opinion. These are the numbers.
It's early.
Chris,
so if the Cubs
explain to them how it
one
works.
more win than the White Sox,
when you win, what they do is when you win the game, they call that a win. And it goes in the win column. It gets added to your wins.
Depends on strength of schedule.
When you lose, no, the strength of schedule is not factored into the win-loss column. It's a win or it's a loss.
Wow. If you beat up on the Pirates and then you take on the Cubs and you sweep them, compared to a team that's playing the Braves and Mets and Marlins.
Well, the Braves had a losing record before they played the Phillies.
I'm not saying the Phillies are good. I'm just saying they're not one of the 3 worst teams in baseball.
The Phillies are the easy game. They are the easy game.
I don't want to slow down the show by arguing.
All right. Like I said, we're all in agreement. The worst 3 teams in baseball. The Royals, the Nationals, and the Phillies.
What about the Reds, the Pirates?
I like the Reds are actually over the last 10 have been playing way better than the Phillies. Even the last 15, we can extrapolate. Go out to the last 15 games, the Reds are the better team.
Word of the day calendar fully used. There, extrapolate.
Yep, done. Mark the checkbox there on the word of the day. Long word. Our long word of the day is extrapolate.
I'm gonna start doing that. Look up the word of the day and try to integrate it into a game.
Yeah, it's gotten that bad over here. It's gotten that bad. We take on the Cardinals and the Brewers. We've got the White Sox and the Red Sox, and the Angels and the Jays. Chris, Blue Jays or Smoking Jays? What would you rather be doing?
Maybe for this game, Smoking Jays, considering I think it's going to be a game that you want to sit back and enjoy. But yeah, I'm still going to go. I'm going to go back a little bit in that time. So I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line. As much as I like the Cardinals and I like, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Eric Lauer's not pitching all that bad, and the Brewers were responsible for Wainwright's first loss of the season. And I think as much as he'd like to get revenge, I think the Brewers are able to hold down this Cardinals lineup and get themselves a win at some nice plus money. And I'm going to take the under 7.5 in that Jays and Angels match. It may not be a popular play given the offensive talent on both sides, but Ryu looks to sort of come back after being hampered by that injury. It looks like now that he's healthy, he can go. And Shohei Ohtani, we all know what he can do. He strikes out a lot of bats, and Toronto can be swing happy at times. So under 7.5 in that one for me.
How about you, Brian?
For me, that group, and I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays here with a strong lean. Ryu's been pretty good in his last 2 starts. I think he's given up 1 run over 10 1/3 innings. Ohtani's just, he's the man, but he's overbet, overpriced. The Angels are 5-5 over the last 10. I like the money you're getting in Toronto here.
I'm going to go with, I like the Angels here. I would lay the run line with Ohtani. I
got to get you an Ohtani jersey.
I could see what's happening. I like him. I don't care. I'll wear it. I like the under in the White Sox, Red Sox. I think you can take this thing all the way down to 7.5 from the 9. I think both these pitchers highly underrated. I think both these guys have the ability to go deep into the 5th inning, giving up minimal runs. Deep into the 5th. I'm talking 5.
5th inning. That's a long start.
5 1/3, 5 2. I could see 5 2/3, 4 hits and a run out of each of these guys on their best day. I mean,
Keuchel's terrible, but he should have a good start today.
I'd rather have Keuchel than Bryce Harper. And
Yeah, right. Maybe because of the money tied up.
no, because I'm 22 and 21 with Keuchel on my roster, and he cost half of what Bryce Harper cost or less. And Bryce Harper, you're 20 and 24 and an embarrassment.
The season's not over yet. We'll see.
Anyways. Oh, man. The aggravation. Go to our last two games on the board. And we've got the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. I had that weird feeling about the Dodgers yesterday. I said it on the show that I had was one of those weird feelings, right?
Yeah, I took the Dodgers. I knew they were going to get their butts kicked.
Yep. And I was on the other side. And then we had the A's and the Rangers. Martin Perez. Martin Perez. Anyways. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, for that, excuse me, that Dodgers Diamondbacks match, we're going to take a shot with the Diamondbacks there. They've already shown they can beat the Dodgers already this season. Humberto Castellanos pitching fairly well, and I don't know, I just haven't seen enough from Mitch White to really make him a minus 179 pitcher, even though it's probably more about the Dodgers lineup than anything else. So go with the Diamondbacks and the plus money there. And I'm going to go with the over in Martin Perez's strikeout prop. I just think he's just having a career year, and the Oakland A's just do not hit lefties well at home. So I think take over in Martin Perez strikeouts in that one.
Yeah, for me in that.
Go ahead.
I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks as well. I've seen Mitch White. It was just one game against the Phillies, but he doesn't. And if you look at his minor league numbers, they're pedestrian. I just think the Diamondbacks have shown they can hang with the Dodgers at times, and you're getting a nice number at home. Mitch White, no way, is a minus 180. Then Texas Rangers with Perez. It seems hard to me. It's hard for me to believe they're giving me this kind of price with Martin Perez. He's been very sturdy this year, and the Rangers haven't been bad. I think 6-4 last 10. So I'll take the Texas Rangers here in a light line.
I like the Texas Rangers here, Martin Perez, and I like. I don't know. I'm gonna stay the hell away from that. I'd love to take the Diamondbacks here. I'd love to find an angle. I think obviously 3 games better in the win column and 2 games better in the loss column than the Phillies. That clearly the better team than the Phillies, who really handled the Dodgers. Played respectably against them, getting that error off the chest of the second baseman to get the win. But I just think that I don't know if Humberto Castellanos is good enough. I got to take Dodgers first 5 innings here. And the Yerfie. Say yes to the Yerfie in that one. Ruffalo, what do you think of the Yerfie in that one?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know if we're going to get the extended Yerfie, but
the correct terminology would be it's in play. The Yerfie's in play.
The Yerfie is definitely in play.
Like if it's possible, it's possible just means it could happen. But I think if you mean like it could happen, then it's in play. The Yerfie's in
Gotcha.
play. The Yerfie is in play in the Diamondbacks Dodgers. I'm having fun with this stuff. I really enjoy myself on this show, I gotta say. It's like I have no time in my day to do it anymore, but I don't care. It's like I'll go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning instead of 1 o'clock. It's like just to do it. Anyways, we go to the final segment here, and of course I didn't put in the tags on the last 2. Let's see. Oh, no, I did. Just the last one I missed. So I'm going to guess about 20 minutes. We go to the NBA, and last night it was a beatdown in Boston, or in Miami. The Heat got just absolutely crushed. It was a close game. The Heat had the lead early, too, and certainly looked to be playing fine. And then there was just a stretch of about 5 minutes, and the game was over. And that was it. The Heat made a small run at the end, but it was too late. And I think when you're making a run like that, you can't afford to miss anything. You know, when you're down that far. And the Heat missed a few threes in there, and that really, made it so they couldn't get there. They couldn't get it to single digits even. Not that it would have mattered. But tonight, the Mavs and the Warriors could be an elimination game. Brian, what do you think?
I probably sound like a broken record because I always say under, and I got the under wrong in the last time Golden State and Dallas matched up, but I really think if Dallas wants to win, last game was an odd one that they won and gave up a bunch of points, but I think they need to turn the defense up. And Golden State Warriors, after that embarrassing loss on the road, I think they come home and they have a lot better game. I think it goes under the 215.5. The under is 5-1 following a loss by Golden State. So normally they do bounce back with improved defense, and the under is 36-17. Last 53 on 1 day's rest for the Dallas Mavs. So I think the number's high. I'm going to take the under 215.5.
Chris?
My only concern with the under there is that the Warriors have put up at least 109 points in all the games so far this series. But I think I like the Warriors here at home to close this one out. As much as I like to see the Mavericks maybe get a run going, I just think going back home, the Warriors going to focus up. They're still shooting 60% from 2-point range, and the Mavericks can't really run them off the 3-point line. So I think the Warriors close this one out in style at home.
I like the under in this one. I think the Mavericks do everything they can do to hold off elimination. I think includes tackle football style. I'm gonna go with the under as well here. So we move to our parlay segment of the show. Brian, you got a parlay?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under in Golden State Dallas, parlayed up with the Atlanta Braves, unfortunately, and then add in the Tampa Bay Rays on the money line.
A little alternate run line on the Braves there, and maybe
I think it'll be a one-run game.
They have been fairly competitive this series. This series has been fairly competitive games. Chris?
Yeah, for my parlay, I'm going to go with the Yurfie in that Rockies-Nationals matchup. I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers on the reverse line, -1.5. And take the Minnesota Twins team total over in that one.
White Sox, Red Sox under, way under. I like the over in the Brewers Cardinals game, and I like the Los Angeles Angels. Any props? Mad props?
Yeah, I got one home run prop. Matt Olson smacked a home run today.
We might stay in that same game. I'm going to go with Ronald Acuna Jr. to hit a home run.
All right. I'm going to take Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run.
You're really getting Ohtani crazy. We're going to have to get you a hat. Anyway.
What more can I say? Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Really short show. I kind of liked it. It was succinct.
Now that was yesterday's word of the day.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate it.